What's up, everyone? Just wanted to get on here and talk about this rankings video we put out yesterday. So we definitely thought about a few names after the fact, and we got one of the names wrong on the 198 list. Adrian thought this guy's name was Eric Reed. Me and Curtis thought the guy's first name was Reed. I don't know, but we're gonna get that figured out. But this whole thing is just a work in progress. It's gonna kind of continue to adapt and evolve. My kind of idea in my brain right now, if you guys are familiar with like how the NFL or the NBA kind of on a week-to-week basis, they'll put out power rankings, and by each of the teams, just kind of based on how they did that week, they'll put like a green up arrow if they moved up 2 spots, or like a red down arrow if they like moved down 3 spots, or just a gray dash or whatever if they didn't move up and down in the rankings. And that's kind of what I want to do. And a kind of a few other changes I want to make to the list. There's some guys that we put on there that may not have been active, haven't pulled in a while, but they deserve to at least be mentioned. So what I think I'm going to do is move those guys that we know haven't been active, but that we know are still really great pullers. I'm going to move them over to the notable mentions column. That way they're still on, because eventually I want to make a graphic with all this. So that way they're still on the graphic, but just until we get more kind of information on where they're kind of at in the sport right now, we'll just kind of keep them off to the side. And then, as you saw with the 198 class, we just kept wanting to put names in the top 10. So I made it a top 13, basically. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change it back to a top 10, but under each class, I'm going to put like a on the bubble or in the conversation, like the next group of like 3 to 5 pullers per class. I'm going to put that underneath each class. That way we do have our top 10s, and then we'll have the next kind of group under that who deserve to be at least in the conversation for this 10th spot. Because once you get down to 10, there's usually a good group of guys that you can consider putting in the top 10. But yeah, if you don't see your name on the list, we know we missed a lot of names, but don't necessarily see everything that goes on in the state. We know there's tons of strong guys over there in Tulsa. We're out here in western Oklahoma, so we don't necessarily know every name that goes on over there, other than the ones that stick out, like your Jeff Hill, Blake Seacrest, Jim Coyle, like the really big names that have been pulling for a long time. So it's never our intention to leave anyone out. So it's going to be kind of updated constantly. Like I said, I eventually want to make a graphic that I'm going to put out somewhere. That way people can kind of look at it. And making this list, I'm not taking our intentions with the list. We never wanted to take away from, say, Brothers in Arms. They're pretty much a league here in Oklahoma. They've been great with putting on events the last few years. They do a great job with that stuff. I pulled in a few of their events, actually. So we're not taking away from that list, but there are names on their list, or there are names that aren't on their list, like a Jeff Hale, best puller in Oklahoma. That should obviously be ranked number 1 in the 176 class. So we're not taking away from that. We're just kind of filling in the gaps, I guess, from the guys, a lot of the guys in Tulsa that don't always make it out to OKC or further out west to make it to the Brothers in Arms tournaments. But we're not going to be a league with this list. We're not going to start like, okay, you're on the list, you see the guy above you, like, call the guy out. I mean, you call the guy out, but that's going to be on your own time. Like, I'm personally not going to have anything to do with call outs and official call out system and stuff like that. This is more or less just a big, trying to make it the most comprehensive rankings list that we've really ever had in Oklahoma. Because people have tried in the past on Facebook. People get mad, egos, yada yada. It just becomes a big mess, and the list eventually gets kind of tossed in the trash. So kind of what I set out to do, was just get all the names. That's why there was 4 of us on the pod, trying to put all of our minds together to make sure that we got every puller that we could think of on this list. So yeah, we're just trying to fill in the gaps and create the most comprehensive kind of state rankings list that we've ever had in the state. Because to my knowledge, I've been more or less in and around the sport for 10 years now, and there's never been kind of a true full complete list. I mean, it'll never be complete because guys are always coming in and out. But there's never been a full list for the state, and that's what I'm trying to do. Like I said, I'm going to try to make kind of a nice graphic for the list that will update every so often. We'll get on. It'll kind of be a recurring theme on the channel, doing pods, just discussing, moving people up, moving people down. Like I said, if you've watched the NFL, NBA, how they do their power rankings, that's kind of what I want to do. I'm really big just sports fan in general, and I love just kind of the methodology behind that, moving people up, moving people down, kind of based on your recent performances. So yeah, just kind of a few updates, tweaks and changes, notes from the list that we put out yesterday, that we thought of after the fact. But yeah, I hope to keep this going for a while. Something pretty cool that I hope you guys out there and ladies will enjoy. If we get enough interest, we can even make a ladies list. I don't know that we could fill out a top 10 right now though. But that's definitely something we can look at, kind of if the interest is there. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys made it all the way through that video. That rankings pod was a lot of fun to do. But yeah, anyways, we will see you guys on the next one. Have a great weekend, everyone.